go.
Let's go. Hi, welcome to your Pilates. I think we've all met before now. I'm Dom. Otherwise, no props super necessary for today. Just a space where you can move freely and comfortably. So many fun things on the docket for today. So I would like to start with us standing, please, if that's possible for you. You're going to take a nice big breath in, big roll of the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale to soften them down. Let's do that again as you inhale, as you lift up through the shoulders. Can you feel like you're lifting your rib cage up as well? And down. 2 more. Inhale, roll them forward, roll them up, let them slide and move. 1 more time. Inhale it up and down. Inhale to reach your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, let your arms just sort of drop down beside you, scooping around through your head, through your back, through your belly. We're trying to be as round as possible. It's like someone's pulling you back as you're melting down to the floor. And we're taking our time, taking our time, taking our time. Gentle bend in the knees there if you'd like to. Only going as low as feels good for you. You can give the head a little nod. You can give the chin a little rock. Ooh, my internet's going to be weird. There we go. Okay, sorry, just wanted to make sure my internet thing was good. And then from the bottom, pressing your feet into the floor, starting to roll all the way up. 1 vertebrae at a time. Big roll of those shoulders. Hi, Miranda. Inhale to reach your arms up. As you breathe out, letting those arms melt as you scooping around and forward, hollowing through that belly. Again, gentle bend in the knees. You don't have to worry about a straight leg here. Going only as low as feels good for you. Little nod of the head, maybe a little rounding through the neck if that feels good. Pressing through the feet to roll and stack your spine all the way back up. Big roll of those shoulders. And then last one. Inhale, the arms come up as you breathe out. If you want to kind of dive forward this time, give those arms a bit of a circle back, you can. Yeah, however you want to make your way to a forward folded shape is fabulous. Left hand is going to either stay on the ground or come up to your left thigh. We're going to inhale to reach our right arm around to the right. So it can look like a few different versions, maybe bending into that left knee a little bit. And then as you breathe out, we're going to thread the right arm underneath, maybe switch the legs so right knee bends. Inhale to reach the right arm up, maybe bend in the left knee, bit of a stretch to the right hip and ham. And then as you breathe out, maybe pedal those legs, rotate them. Through that spine. 1 more time. Inhale to lengthen, trying to open through that tail the whole entire time. So again, being up a little bit higher might feel the best. Inhale to unravel. And then dissolve that shape forward. Again, give your head a little rock and roll. Maybe pedal out the legs. Maybe you're up a little higher. You want to round that spine. Switching to the other side. So right hand can come to the right thigh or to the ground. As you inhale, reach the left arm up. Right knee will bend this time. And then exhale to thread the left arm underneath, maybe pedal the opposite direction. Inhale, your right hand can also be on the right thigh. And then exhale to swap. 1 more time here, inhale. Exhale, maybe you have no interest in pedaling and that's cool too. Inhale. And then exhale, dissolve that shape forward, bend into the knees, press to the feet, start to ripple, roll your spine all the way up. Nice big circle of the arms. All right, I'm hoping we're feeling a little more mobile. We're going to step that left foot forward. We're going to take the right foot back. It's not going to be a super, super huge split lunge. I want you to keep it pretty small. We're going to place our hands on our hip bones just to make sure they're nice and square, squeezing that right bum cheek. As you inhale, you're going to hug those legs together. You're going to bend through your back knee and you're going to start to hinge. So keep it quite small at first. Pause. Don't go too low. Keep that right glute on. Check in with the alignment of your spine. Yeah, that we're not popping or curving. Take a breath in. Then exhale, hug the feet, press, stand up. Let's go again, hands to hips. Inhale to start to bend, to tilt. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Keep that right glute on. Press into that back foot to bring you up. 3 more. Inhale to hug it in. I love this one for a nice hip opener to get into that glute a little bit more and tons of quad, yeah? For 2, now your hands could sort of evolve into another place, but I want us to keep them right where they are right now to make sure the hips stay square. One more time. You're trying to scoop that pelvis underneath you. Big opener through that hip. We're going to hold here for 5, for 4. Maybe reach the arms. 3, squeeze that glute. 2, press into that foot. Bring yourself up. Give yourself a shake off. That one I feel like gets so much spicier than its appearance. Yeah. Let's go the other way. So left foot is going to come forward. Right leg is going to come back in space. Again, it's not a super, super huge split squat here. Hands are going to come to your hip bones, standing nice and tall, firing into your glutes as best you can right away. As you inhale, keep it small to start. Let's bend into both of those knees. Watch to see if your hips, if your low back, if your spine does anything funky. Squeeze that back glute. Press into that back leg to bring you up. Inhaling. Why does this feel? There we go. Like, why does this feel like I just did this side? And then exhale, press to bring it back up again. So balancing out through those hips, right foot is forward, squeeze. We're going for 3. Now, can you think long through your spine? And as you think long, it's going to load a little bit more into that quad. For 2, and as you think long, we're trying to make sure again that those hips don't slip away from each other. So grateful I got the wall here. Last time to this side, bend, bend, squeeze, squeeze, hold it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, press, bring it up, nice job, give those legs a little. Okay, so we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a funky thing, and then we're gonna do that whole circuit again. So I'd like us to bend into those legs. I'm hiking my leggings up for you. Bend into those legs. Hands are gonna come to your hips. We're gonna lift the right heel to hover up. We're gonna pop it down. Left heel to hover up, pop it down. Right heel and lower, and left heel and lower. Now, as you're lifting and lowering those heels, they're not popping all the way. Yeah, they're just going about like 50%. Lift. I have so many fun things for us to explore today. This is going to be one of them. Now you're going to lift your right heel, you're going to hover. You're going to rotate that leg in. You're going to rotate it back out, pop the foot down. Left heel hovers, pause. Rotate that leg in. Squeeze and bring it out. Put that foot down. We lift. We rotate. We squeeze it back. We lower. We lift. We rotate. We squeeze back. We lower. We hover. Internal. External. Plant. Hover. Internal. External. Plant. Keep going. Hover. Internal. External, plant. So if you've had a lot of like sitting type work today, my hope is that with starting getting us up a little bit, we can kind of boost our energy, get the chance to stand, hover, internal, external, close, hover, internal. Now I'm adding a little pulse here. You can totally keep it static down. It's actually a lot more work on the quads to do that. Hover, internal, external, down. Getting the femur to move here in our hip joint. Only working in a range and at a pace that feels reasonable for you, yeah? Internal, down. For 2, internal, external, down. Last one, internal, external, plant the foot, shake it out. Left foot is gonna come forward. We're back into that split squat. Right leg is gonna come back. Not a huge split here. Living love through those hips, firing through those glutes. Now this time you're welcome to cross your arms over your chest. You're welcome to reach those arms forward. As you hug right away, fire into the glutes so you're not sitting into your knee joint. Feel like you're trying to scoop your pubic bone forward. Nice big stretch to the front of the hip. Fire that glute, take a breath in, squeeze and bring yourself up. That's one. We're going to 6. Slowly scoop, activate, level hips, maybe add some arms. Take a breath in, press off that back foot. That's 2. Hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. We're already maybe feeling fiery things. That's 3. Really, really trying here. And I have to work super hard at this to find both the scoop and the length. Back glute. 4, 2 more, yeah? We're hugging in, we're opening, we're strengthening. You got it, press it up. That's 5, one more time. Hug and lengthen. We're holding here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep squeezing that back glute, feel that back quad. 2, 1, press it up. Shake it off. You don't have to turn sides, but I will so you can see me. Right foot forward this time, left leg back. And I know I'm moving a little bit quicker. I want us to have the chance to get a bit of a pace, and then we'll cool it down. So left foot is back, right foot is forward. Arms can be wherever you want. Hug the legs in right away. And the second you start to bend into that left knee, really think about scooping, squeezing, and lengthening. For 2, for 1, back leg activates to press. Hug it all in, lengthen it out, torso on. For 2, for 1, squeeze it up. Good, we've got 4 more. For 3, 2, press that back leg. 1. So the front leg is really sort of just here as like a kickstand because it has to go somewhere. 1, 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. And if you're like me and sometimes your toes hurt being in a high half toe, just lower your heel down. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like maximum there. Press it up. 1 more time. 3, 2, we're holding. 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze the glutes. 4, feel the quad. 3, 2, 1, bring it up. Big shake. Walking your feet out so that we can go into that little, feels very like hip hoppy to me. We're gonna bend down. Whew. We're not gonna fall over, or maybe you do, but catch yourself. Let's start left. Left heel hovers down. Right heel hovers down. Left heel down. Right heel. Left heel. Yeah. Got a bit of a groove going on. And you're always welcome to pop on some music. I just sort of feel like when I'm teaching in this capacity, when I put music on, it can end up being a bit of a competition. And I don't want anyone to feel like they're not being properly guided. So stick some Spotify on if you want to. Good. Lift and down. All right, we're going to add that internal. So we lift the left leg, internally rotate it, turn it out, pop it down. Right heel, internal, external, down. Now you're going to see this again together, or at some point together. Down. Now notice I added like a little bit of a bounce there. The dancer in me can't help it. Internal, external, down. As you're doing this, you might notice that your feet start to kind of like gradually migrate away. So feel free to wiggle them back in, yeah? You can also hold it nice and low. So again, getting that range going, noticing what that range looks and feels like in your hips and your pelvis. Internal, external, down, up, internal, external, down. Let's go for 3. Let's go for 2. And 2. You got it. Oh, that was a lie because we started on the left. Here we go. 1, internal, external, out. Last 1, internal, external, out. Nice job. Give yourself a little walking with those feet, a little zhuzh, 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 zhuzh. We're going to come all the way down onto our mats now, or whatever it is you're using as your movement space. Doesn't have to be a mat. And onto our backs. That was nice. We're a little bit warmer now, I hope. So feeling your feet planted on the floor. We're just going to do a little bit of mobilizing here. So arms can stay down. Arms can also reach up, getting nice and strong. Feel those feet fully pressing into the floor here, feeling as much as you can. Sort of, I like to call it home base, right? Our neutral pelvis. So hip bones and pubic bone as level as possible. We don't want to start with our back already curved in. And we're going to go a little differently today. Can you inhale to super, super tip your pelvis forward? So if you had like a cup of tea on your pelvis, you'd be spilling it towards your pubic bone. As you breathe out, you're going to pass neutral. You're going to scoop your low back to the floor. Press your feet into the floor. Fire through those glutes we just warmed up. And lift into whatever height of a shoulder bridge feels good for you. Take an inhale at the top here, and then we reverse engineer. So we're trying to find those upper thoracic vertebrae first, and then the lower, and then we eventually hit into that lumbar, and we settle back into our neutral. Now, as you inhale, tip the pelvis forward like you're pouring a cup of tea. As you breathe out, you're going to fire the heels towards the glutes. Keep hugging heels and glutes towards each other so you can turn on those hamstrings as you lengthen and roll it up. At the top, taking your breath in, and then as you breathe out, one vertebrae at a time, rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling all the way back to neutral. Let's do 2 more. Inhale to interiorly tip. As you breathe out, really using that as an opportunity to start to find the low abs. They guide your pelvis back. Then you fire your glutes, lifting up, trying to feel each of those vertebrae, opening at the top, taking your breath in. As you breathe out from that thoracic spine, ripple and roll yourself all the way down. Last one here, inhale to overextend. As you breathe out, think abs to bring you up, or back, sorry, and then glutes and hamstrings to bring you up. From here, let's take those hands to the hip bones. So you're welcome to stay up fairly high, yeah, as long as your ribs are not surpassing your hip bones. We want to keep the rib cage contained. You could also explore doing this a little lower down, yeah. You don't have to be as high up as I am. From here, can you imagine you're squeezing into a ball or a block, or if you have one at home, go for it, pop one there. We're gonna let the right hip drop down, spiral towards the right, but keep the legs totally still. Fire the glute and bring it back up. Let's rotate the left side of the pelvis to the left. Imagine you're squeezing into something, lift that hip back up. Little rotation around to the right, squeeze and lift. Little rotation to the left, squeeze and lift. And every single time you come to center, it's like you're trying to get a little bit higher, yeah? We wanna make sure that we're really staying specific to the pelvis and the glutes working here. Plus you have your heels hugging in, the middle of your thighs and kneecaps radiating out, so you're gonna get your hamstrings happening there. We're trying to keep that rib cage contained but breathing, yeah? So we're not like compressing into our diaphragm. And I'm hoping sooner rather than later, we're feeling lots of good glute stuff here. You're welcome to also find this down a little bit lower. Just making sure that we're not scooping our pelvis to the ceiling as best as you can. Rotate and down. Let's go for 3, for 3, for 2, for 2. Last one. Last one. From the top, take a breath in. As you breathe out, can you really super slowly ripple and roll your spine all the way down? Nice job. You can give your legs just a little teeter totter, a little windshield wiper, side to side there. Okay, we're gonna roll onto our left side. I'm gonna like really crack into this fun glute stuff right out of the gate. So now we're all warmed up. You're gonna place your hand on top of your hip. You're gonna lengthen, or you don't have to, right? Like if you wanna place your hand on your hip, you can. You're gonna lengthen your hip away from you. We're gonna draw the rib cage in and feel like we're shining our tailbone back behind us. We're gonna start by just lifting this top leg to parallel. Parallel lift, and then pop it down. Parallel lift, pop it down. Just sort of exploring what that feels like. Parallel and down. And now as you're doing this little parallel lift, just starting to notice any little nuances, any little shifts in the body as you lift and lower that leg. If your rib cage starts to want to give in, maybe your pelvis wants to drop down towards the floor, it would feel probably much more comfortable there, but we're going to keep lengthening it out. At any time, if you want to take breaks, you're more than welcome to. If at any time you want to slide a blanket or something underneath your hips or your torso, please feel free to go there. We're going to go for 3. We're going to go for 2. All right. You're going to lift up to parallel, hover, and then hold. You're going to internally rotate. And as you internally rotate, can you feel like you're lifting up a little bit? Rotate back to parallel and then lower that leg back down. We're going to lift up to parallel. I'm going to flex my foot so that you can see it a little bit better. We're going to internally rotate. And as you do, it's like you're trying to kick that foot up to the ceiling. We rotate back to parallel. We lower down. We lift. Rotate, lift, back to parallel and down, parallel, internal lift, back to parallel and down. And I'm hoping sooner rather than later, you get some really fun, fiery glute chit chat that starts happening for you. Internal, good, parallel, internal lift, hover, parallel, and down. And your range, keep going, could look different, yeah? It doesn't have to look like this. And down, lift. Your version of this could look different. You could totally be on hands and knees if you wanted to, in a quadruped, versus lying on your side. I really like the side variation for this because you're really, really working against gravity here. I mean, you totally would be on your side also. I also like the support that's offered to us. Are you feeling fiery? I'm starting to feel like very fiery. Let's go for 5. Back and down. Let's go for 4. Internal lift and hover. And down. For 3. Internal lift, squeeze, parallel, and close. For 2. We're getting stronger. We're building muscles. We're working our system here. Last one. Rotate, lift, back to parallel, lower down, give your glute a little zhuzh if you would like to. We're gonna squeeze our heels or toes together. You're gonna keep that point of contact, top hip long, housekeeping through the upper body, and then let's open through that top leg. Inhale down, and then exhale to open. Oh yeah, that is a clammy clam. Now options here. If your shoulders are feeling up for it, you're welcome to come right up so that you're in kind of like a side plank. Oh God, this is so burning. Side plank variation. And down, rib cage in, yeah? If you were going to be on your arm, we're gonna house keep it out. So I wanna make sure it's not like hanging out vacation time. We're gonna press. We're gonna watch that bottom shoulder doesn't roll forward. We're gonna think about rolling it onto our back and hug the forearm down and in. It's gonna give you some stability. It also might give you a bit of leverage to open this top thigh, yeah? Non-negotiable is I just don't want us down here. This is like kind of fun, but it's not what I wish for us today. We're gonna stay nice and active, yeah? Getting as much bang for our buck out of this as we can. Are your glutes on fire? My glutes are on fire. Open and close, that's it. Let's go for 8. For 7, oh, so much work. For 6, keep drawing that rib cage in. 5, long from head to tail. This is where the work is. 4, take a break if you need. For 3, and then come right back into it. For 2, full disclosure, this is gonna get worse before it gets better. Last one, open that thigh and extend it out. Internally rotate it, okay? So you're gonna internally rotate through that leg. We're gonna pulse it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you've got it. 4, you can do it. 3, 2, 1, lower it down. Woo! Nice job. That was fantastic. All right, let's flip onto our backs. Now I know you're super, super tempted, or you're probably feeling super tempted to stretch that out. I'm gonna ask us to resist. Maybe give yourself a little kind of like rock and roll against the back of your pelvis, but try not to jump in and stretch it right away. We're gonna keep those feet planted on the floor. We're gonna level out that pelvis again. So hip bones, pubic bone as level as possible here. We're gonna reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Can you please take an inhale in through your nose into the backs and sides of the ribs? Exhale it out through your mouth, blow something away. Inhale in through the nose into the backs and sides of the ribs. And exhale it out. One more time. Inhale it in. Big breath, exhale out. All right, inhaling through the nose into the backs and sides of the ribs, keeping that pelvis nice and level. As we breathe out, we're gonna slightly nod our chin. We're gonna take those arms and press them down and forward as we curl up. So it's like you're reaching for your toes. Inhale to lower this shape back down. Arms can even reach back behind you if you wanted to. Exhale, nod our chin, curl up, press, and close. Now, if adding this bit of arm movement here is feeling like not at all fabulous, take the hands behind the head or take one hand behind the head, yeah? We're gonna add a little bit more to this. Inhale to take it back, but I just kind of wanted you to play with what feels good right now. Every time you curl up, can you please take a little cheeky peek at your pelvis to make sure it's not scooping underneath you, make sure your glutes aren't firing. For right now, I would like us to keep it really above this upper body. I also want you to notice what's happening from your hip bones from side to side. Are they squeezing up? Are you tilting your pelvic weight? Yeah. Inhale to take it back. This time, if you're using arms, can you circle them around to bring yourself up? Inhale to lower it down. Exhale, excuse my chicken wing arm. I'm really close to my wall. Inhale to lower down. Now you could also always one arm it, yeah? I would say alternate sides as you go here though. We've got 8 more. So switch your arms when it's time for you to be even, yeah? Exhale to squeeze. For 5, I'm gonna keep my right arm behind my head for aesthetics there because my wall is so close. For 3, for 2. All right, here we go. Last one. Now you can keep your hands beside you. You can keep your hands on your hips. It's about time for me to let my head support my hands now, yeah? Keeping that pelvis level without moving it. Can you lift your right leg up to a tabletop? Pop the right leg down. Don't let your pelvis move. Breathe in. Exhale, lift your left leg up to a tabletop. Pelvis doesn't move. Pop that foot back down. Breathe in. Exhale, lift. Good. Pop that foot down. Don't let your pelvis move. And you're holding your ab curl here the whole time. No pelvic tilting. Now, if you were to place your hand on your belly, we want to make sure that you're not doming. So we want to make sure there's not, keep moving, a pressure up, like it's trying to pop up through the ceiling. We want it to think wide and flat. And I am not saying that in a fashion kind of a way. I mean it in an anatomy way. Yeah, I don't want us to pop up through the center of our abdomen. Now, if thinking wide doesn't do anything for you, you might need to think about hugging the hip bones in towards each other. That might do wonders for you, yeah? Lift the right leg up. Such a subtle burn, but it's totally there. Lift. One more to each side. Right leg lifts. Lower it down. Left leg lifts. Take a breath in. Exhale down. Whew, little windshield wiper, side to side. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Feet are planted on the floor, letting your pelvis level out. Hip bones, pubic bone level. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, nodding your chin, curling up, maybe reaching those hands beside the hips again. Yeah, we're going to go again. Inhale, back and down. Exhale, nod and curl. Inhale, lengthen back and down. Exhale, up and curl. Now remember, you could always have no hands reaching. You could always do one hand reaching. And I just want you to pay attention as you're curling up and down here to make sure that we're not pressing through our chin. Yeah, we're not lifting up like that. You can kind of hopefully see that that's not a very lovely place for my neck. I also want us to make sure as we're curling here again, the pelvis isn't tilting. I also want us to feel like we're not pulling our heads forward. Yeah, letting your head, if you're using your hands, be really, really relaxed there. However, if your arms are moving, it won't be like that. All right, this time you're gonna curl up. From the curl up, we're gonna sweep those arms down and around, and then exhale to press. So a little bit different than last time, yeah? Sweep around, exhale, press. Sweep behind you, exhale, press. If this is feeling like too much load, you're welcome to go back to that first direction, which was when we swept to come in, yeah? Now we're pressing to ab curl. Let's go for 3. Keep checking in with that pelvic line, yeah? We want to make sure those hips are not rocking and rolling. Last one to curl up. Beautiful. Now hands can come behind your head. They can stay reaching. You can have one reaching. We're going to start again with those little leg lifts. I'm going to start with the left this time. Inhale to place it down. Exhale to lift. Now, if it feels reasonable, as you lift your leg, can you take an oblique twist over? Good. Do not lengthen back on this one, yeah? You're going to only find center. Rotate to the right. Find center to the left. Oh, abs on fire. Now, as you're changing through those legs, notice if your pelvis is doing lots of wobbling, yeah? We want to keep it really, really centered. Inhale, exhale to twist. Inhale, exhale to twist. Oh, super burny. You can do it. Let's go. Twist. And twist. No pelvic movement here. Let's go for 4. For 3. For 2. Last one. Lower it down. Holy moly. I'm hoping we all felt the same amount of fire deep in our abs here. Collect the back of one of your legs or roll to one side. Bring yourself all the way up. We're going to do that glute magic on our second side. You know what? I'm going to grab some water before we do that too. Okay. Lying onto that right side. If you feel comfortable bringing your hand to your top hip, we're just going to press it away from us, zipping into that low belly rib cage, stacking through those hips. And we want to make sure, again, we're not curving the bum underneath us, that we're radiating it out, yeah? Top leg is going to start nice and calm. We lift up to parallel, and then we close. So I'm not in like a 90 here. I'm in a bit more of like that clam shape. And close. And lift. A little bit of housekeeping as you're doing this lifting here. We want to check in and make sure as we lift the leg that the pelvis doesn't press down into the mat. Rib cage is in, we lift, and we close. And we lift, and we close. And as you're doing this, keep radiating that tail out behind you. Keep lengthening through the top of the hip. Sooner rather than later, I'm hoping we feel some really fun glute warming up stuff happening here. Drawing into that rib cage. Lift it up and down. Let's go for 4. Starting to feel hopefully that top glute. For 2. Lift and hold. I'm going to flex, more dorsiflex my foot so that you can really see what's going on. We're going to internally rotate. And as we do that, can we press that leg up, but do not let that top hip roll forward. Find parallel, lower it down, lift up, internally rotate and feel like you're pressing that foot up, but don't straighten the leg, yeah? Rotate back to parallel, lower down. We lift, hover, we rotate, pulse, we rotate parallel, we lower, we parallel, rotate, pulse a little, parallel and down. And again, your range here, like maybe you want to keep it a little bit smaller because that feels more reasonable. Please feel free to do that, yeah? Lift, rotate, pulse, parallel and close, hover, rotate, pulse, parallel and close. And again, I'm hoping sooner rather than later, you're going to feel stuff. And you might feel some hamstring in here as well. That's okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. We're pulling our leg into our knee into flexion. So your hamstrings are working here for you. And down. We lift. Really nice bit of a burn there. Yeah. Let's go for 3. Little glutey. And down. For 2. Keep checking in with the waist. Keep checking in with the glutes. And down. One more time. Lift. Rotate, pulse. Parallel, lower it down, squeeze toes or heels together, keep that top hip level. We're gonna open it out. If you want to adjust your legs here a little bit, you can, and open it up. Honestly, the joys of doing this live together never end. So if you would like to come up onto your right forearm here, you can, giving a little bit of work into that shoulder, also into your obliques, yeah? Housekeeping, if you're going to stay up on that arm, we want to make sure we don't sort of let that shoulder fall forward. We want to press into the floor. We want a shoulder blade on our back. We want a rib cage in. We want to draw up. You could even take that top hand, wrap it around your waist, and use it as a bit of a support so you make sure you don't collapse in. Gaze can be down, it can be forward, it can be at your legs, wherever feels good for you. Top hand is wherever you need it to be. Non-negotiable, right, is that we don't want to let those hips move with us. Again, there's really nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. We definitely want to encourage mobility. However, for what our goal is right now, we want to keep that hip stable. Are we getting the burns yet? I'm shaking. Let's go for 4. Let's go for 3, for 2. Last one, here we go. You're gonna take that leg, you're gonna extend it. You're gonna internally rotate it, little pulses, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Woo-wee. Flip onto your back. Lift your legs. Go for that little ooh, rock and roll as I crash into my wall. Okie dokie. Let's collect the back of one of our legs. Let's bring ourselves up and or flip over onto your belly. My microphone's over this way, so I'm gonna rotate around, but we're gonna come over here. Okay, let's extend those legs so that they are a little bit wider than hip distance, and let's externally rotate them, turn them out, yeah? So when we were doing our hip bridges at the beginning of our time together, time is a flippity flying, we were talking about anteriorly tipping, right? So when your hip bones would be really heavy. So if you were to lie here and like really, really let your hip bones press into the floor, you're gonna maybe feel a bit of crunching in your low back. So we're gonna fire the abs, fire the glutes, and lengthen out so it's a little more pubic bony, yeah? We're gonna take those hands down towards our forehead. And if you have a block or a tissue box or anything like that, it might be a nice chance to grab it. You definitely don't need one, but if you have one, you'll see why. We're going to take those arms so that they're wide next to us, as much in line to like towards shoulder territory as possible. Zipping up through those thighs, firing again towards that pubic bone, taking a few breaths here, inhaling it in and exhaling it out. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Pressing your hands into that floor. As you inhale, bring your shoulder blades onto your back, little head hover. As you breathe out, lengthen your chest forward and up. Draw those hands down, a little bit of a lengthening through here. Taking a breath in, and then as you breathe out, melt it down, melt it down, melt it down. Inhale, shoulder blades on your back, pressing hands into floor, little head hover. As you breathe out, draw your chest forward and keep scooping towards your pubic bone. Taking a breath in here. As you breathe out, melt it down. A few more times. Inhale, shoulder blades on the back, press into your hands, lengthen out and through, and explore, right? Like how active your legs are and what your range is before you collapse to those hip bones. Breathe in, because at some point we do have to give in to that lumbar extension. One more time, inhale, head hover, little nod forward, curling out and up. And so finding where exactly your space is where you can lift up to before that happens. We're gonna slowly lower down so you're just in a little bit of a hover. So you're more parallel to the floor this time. And I'd like you to lift your arms just to hover off of the floor. So your palms are hovering, your forearms are hovering, your elbows are hovering, and you're just holding it here for 5. I want you to notice your head. 4, that it doesn't collapse. 3, you're thinking about like an ever so slight forward trajectory. 2, like you're trying to lengthen out the back of your neck. Last 1, lower down, take a little break. If it feels reasonable to push back to a little bit of a child's pose here, you can. If you're not interested in doing that, then don't do it. Coming all the way back down. So if that felt really great in your back, you can start to play with your leg placement. So legs can be hip distance-ish apart, more parallel, or they can be squeezing together. Yeah, the closer they come together, the more of a pelvic challenge, stability challenge it's going to be. We're going to take our hands, we're going to interlace them underneath our head. We're going to melt to the floor. Press your toes into the floor, zip up through those quads, zip up through those glutes, and find that little pelvic tilt again, yeah? As you inhale, shoulder blades are going to squeeze towards the center of your back. And then as you breathe out, we lift. So notice that I'm trying to be very specific here that we're not shoving our shoulder blades down our backs into a depression. I want you to retract them and draw them towards each other. Like if you were to think of center point of your back, that's where we're going. You're going to take those arms, you're going to reach them forward. We're going to circle the right arm down towards our hip. We're going to circle our left arm towards our hip. Can you imagine that they could kind of lift up and pass each other something and then circle them back around? Maybe they give each other a little clap at the top. reach. And as they reach around, you're gonna lengthen up to that hover you just found, yeah? So not so high that your hips press into the floor, but you're really trying to use it. It's like their hands are trying to clap behind you, but they won't. And then they circle around again as you lower to hover, and maybe they can clap overhead. Reach it around and circle and lower. Let's go for 2. This is where if you have a block or a tissue box. Last one. And around. Bring the arms in, lower down. Take a little break again. You can press back again into a little child's pose if you would like to, or bring it up. We're gonna come up onto hands and knees. Meeting there, however, feels again reasonable. Grab some more water for us. And I want to get that spine moving a little bit from like so much extension to a bit of flexion. So as we inhale, we're going to lengthen out like you're doing a cat-cow, yeah, except don't worry too much about the belly. Think more about the torso. And then as you exhale, scoop in around, press that floor away, hollowing through that belly. Inhale to lengthen it out, tail to head. And then exhale, scooping around. One more time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to scoop. Super scoop, super scoop. And then one vertebrae at a time, we're back to parallel. So I want us to take that information that we found from working in that mid-back extension and bring it here. So you're not in an extension, but that musculature, that support is what I love for us to feel. Maybe take your left hand and scoot it in a little bit. Right hand is going to come out to the side. Now, housekeeping right out of the gate is we want to super press the floor away. We want to squeeze to our left arm muscles as best as we can. And we want to try to hug that scapula onto our back. Yeah. So lots of work here. And we're also trying to stay fairly open through the top of the shoulder. So much stuff. Taking your breath in as you breathe out. Can you reach that right arm up? Inhale to tap it down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to tap it down. Exhale to lift. You got it. Exhale, lift. And down. Oof. So notice as you're lifting and lowering that right arm, that your left arm, as mine is doing, might be like, excuse me, I'm doing so much work here, stabilizing us. And down. Now for today, if you'd like to take that right leg back behind you, you totally can. You will see why. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, you're going to take that right arm up. You're going to sweep it up overhead, flip and squeeze down to hip. Flip palm up overhead, internally rotate. So we kind of did a version of this, yeah? Now that back leg, if you would like to, can hover up. It's going to add more work through that upper body. It's also going to require more stability in your abs because we don't want to dump through our hips, yeah? We want to keep them contained. Press and squeeze, press and squeeze. That's it. For 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring that arm all the way in, lower it all down, give those wrists a little shake. So I know that's a ton of load on your supporting arm. So keeping the knee down keeping the knee down because it's off the floor when you extend it is going to give you that bit of support. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off here. Shake it off. Now you have options. If you're happy, you're still weight bearing on your wrists, you're going to come back onto hands and knees. We're going to keep the knees under our hips. Yeah, we're going to go into some funky version of a push-up here. So you're going to keep your hips stacked over your knees the whole time. If you're not comfortable being weight bearing, don't worry, I'm going to give you another option. You're going to bend, but as you bend, can you keep your hips totally stacked over the knees? And then exhale to press. So it could be tempting to send your hips back. It could be tempting to kind of come forward, like very Shavasana, or not Shavasana, very like Cobra-y. So you're keeping those hips stacked right over your hips and you're just folding at the arm. I'm gonna walk my hands forward a little bit. It's gonna give a little more range. No, not that hurts my elbows. So as you're working here, can you find a range that feels reasonable for you? If you hate this, you can come to a wall and press and work that way. If you don't have a wall or a counter, if you'd like to bend your elbows and extend back, notice how I'm not doing my palms facing in. I'm doing palms reaching back, yeah? These are all options. I'm gonna work from up here because that feels best in my body today, but you can be wherever you want to be, yeah? We got it for 10, for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, reach it back, hold little pulse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up, shake it off. All right, let's go to that second side. So hands and knees if that's where you want to be. Knees are stacking underneath the hips to start. Maybe this time let's do some wrist circles. So circling your body weight around your wrist, both directions. Noticing if you're sort of collapsing into the heel of your hand, and you feel some pressure into those finger pads as well. Left arm is going to come out to the side. Now we're going to press into that right arm, shoulder blade on your back, fire through those arm muscles, yeah? Fire through your abdomen. Working through that left arm, we're going to lift it up. Now, as you lift and lower through these arms, and I didn't say it on the first side, notice if it's getting very squishy into your shoulder, yeah? And I actually want the squeeze to happen a little bit lower down. I want us to think about it happening more so in the middle of your back versus high up. Now you probably will feel it higher up, yeah? But I just want you to start to cultivate that mind-body connection. Inhaling it down. Also noticing what's happening to your neck, right? If it starts to collapse over time, we want to keep lengthening it out. Knowing that that standing arm is pressing away, yeah? So that's so much work that is required of us. Press and lift. Press. Now, if it feels reasonable, you're welcome to take that right leg back behind you. Zip it up. If you hate it, don't do it. Let's go. 8, 7, belly strong. 6, and I do not want us to forget 5, about that standing arm. 4, 3, 2, last one. Flip your palm to face up as your arm reaches overhead. Thumb faces down as you squeeze into your hips. Palm flips up, thumb down. Thumb up as you squeeze, thumb down as you move. If you would like to lift that leg to add that little bit of the core, to add that little bit extra stability required through the upper body, your pelvic balancing here, super, super, super important. Yeah, we don't want to collapse and lift. This might feel super good, but for the purposes of what we're going for, not aligned. And squeeze, that's it. For 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, last one, and bring it in. If you loved the first variations of those push-ups that we did, you're welcome to stay there. If you want to go for something a little bit different, this will be our last little bit of business together here. You're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to reach those arms back behind you. We know I love this one for a good stretch, so we want to make sure that our hands are not facing back behind us. Fingertips are facing either down or turned out or on a bit of a diagonal here. So already a massive, massive stretch through that chest. Inhaling to bend and exhaling to press. I really do love this one because it is going to encompass the whole back of the body. And press, good. Down and press. And then only if it feels reasonable, we're gonna fire the glutes and lift. lower down, bend, stretch and lift. Trying our super best not to collapse through the shoulders. Let's go for 5. 5. For 4. Feeling that opening. Only going where it feels good for you, yeah? 3. For 2. 2. Last one. Press and squeeze. Lower down, nice job. Bring yourself all the way up. We're gonna crisscross applesauce our legs. So however this feels accessible, right? Like grab some pillows, grab some blankets, build them up underneath. Let's do our right leg in front. We're gonna inhale to reach those arms up and then exhale to bring it forward. Breathing in here and breathing out. Now your right leg is forward. So we're gonna walk our hands to the top left part of our imaginary box circle situation here. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep walking all the way around. Plant your left hand down. Bring your right arm up overhead. Breathing it in and out. Bringing yourself all the way up. Big circle of those shoulders. And then let's switch sides. You could also totally be on your back here if you would prefer. You'll just sort of switch between pulling your knees into your chest or being in a figure 4 and then into a rotation. Nice calm breath here to soak up all the hard work you've done. Taking the hands over to the top right corner, feeling your left hip hug back. I love taking this time to just sort of be like, wow, we worked so hard through the body. Bringing yourself all the way around, plant the right hand, side bend over to the left. And then all the way up again, shoulders, a bit of a roll. We're gonna take that right hand over to the left leg or knee. Left hand can come behind the hip. Let's press up to be as tall as we can be. And then from the belly, from the midsection, rotating it around. Inhaling in and out here. Now to keep it fun, you're gonna keep holding on if you can reach it with the right hand to the left leg or knee or even ankle if that feels more accessible. You're gonna reach the left arm up and you're gonna bend over that right knee. One more breath in here, planting that left hip. Come all the way out, again, shoulder roll. Let's go to the other side. That right arm is gonna reach up and come to land behind the right hip somewhere. It could be on a block. Left hand is gonna come to your knee, your thigh, maybe your ankle if that feels more reasonable, your shin. Anywhere is fine. Inhale up tall and then exhale from that belly, rotate around. Inhaling here and exhaling. And then if you would like to add in that extra bit of a twist, right hand will come up overhead. Wherever your left hand is landed, it's fine. It's just there to give you a bit of a counterbalance. Here's your diving over that left leg. Inhaling to be here. Exhaling it out. Coming all the way back up. Bring those legs around so that you can have a bit of length behind you. And then super, super, super slowly, we're gonna start to roll through the belly all the way, one vertebrae at a time to the floor. Bending your knees, planting them on the floor, maybe giving them a little rock and roll side to side. And then let's take those legs over to the left. You can take your arms back behind you if you would like to. Sort of like, feels like a splat on the floor, yeah. So much amazing work today. We started with a little bit of mobilizing for the spine, for the legs. We moved into that standing work where we were opening through the front of the quad, the hip flexor, while also engaging through the back of the body. And we had that like kind of hip hoppy moment with the internal rotation and then that whole circuit to get us going. From there, we came down onto the floor. We did a little bit of shoulder bridging, some pelvic mobility and stability, and then moved into some ab work. From there into that side glute where we did that internal rotation. Such fun business on both sides, plus a little bit of, what did we do in the middle? We didn't just go from one side to the other. I think that's when we did our abs, wasn't it? And then what else? Ugh, time just flies, doesn't it? Bring your legs back up and then over. So we did our glutes, we did our abs, we did our mid back, we did some single arm stuff, we did some push-ups in there as well. Back chain of the body, head to toe. I'm feeling Spice-orama. I hope you're feeling Spice-orama. Just taking these last few moments here to calm down our breath, to calm down our breathing. If you'd like to walk those legs back up, squeeze your legs into a tight ball, curl yourself up, give yourself a little nuzzle, squeeze, 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 and then exhale, melt it down. Taking a nice big breath in to celebrate all of the hard work you did today. Exhaling to side out. If you would like to take a big stretch, fingertips to toes, and then ring those arms around yourself. Give yourself a squeeze. Thank you so much for all of your amazing hard work. Thank you for taking this time out for yourself, for being here for you, for being here with me. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day.